Good evening, everyone. I think 39 is a good number to start with. Kindly, someone unmute and tell me if I'm audible.
Yes, you
Yes, you're
are.
audible. Yes, you're audible.
Yeah,
Thank you. So, just a minute. Okay. So, I think we can start now. The rest will join us as we go on. So, today's topic is very interesting about the cybersecurity skills gap and career progression. I think I was thinking of a cybersecurity skills gap and the amount of jobs that are out there, and then it's quite ironical also the amount of people who are still looking for jobs. So this is a topic that is quite close to home for all of us. And we'll have with us Stephen Wanjuki, who is a SOC team lead in Serianu, who will take us through what exactly is lacking in the industry and career progression. So I'll go ahead and introduce Stephen. So Stephen is a cybersecurity professional with over 8 years experience majoring in cyber analytics, threat intelligence, and incident response. Currently, he's holding the position of a SOC team lead in Serianu Limited, exercising thought leadership, and he's passionate about exploring cybersecurity dynamics and emerging threat trends towards developing and implementing strong cyber resilience. So Stephen Wanjuki will go ahead and tell us more about himself and then delve into the topic of the cybersecurity skills gap and career progression. So Stephen, karibu sana, and thank you for agreeing to mentor us for this session.
so thank you so much, Hope, for that introduction. Um, Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this session. I'm happy to be part of this program, and it's a great pleasure to be here. So I'm happy to be taking part in this and sharing my knowledge, wisdom towards making sure that the people that we bring into the market are ready for it. So I'll just go right ahead by sharing my screen. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, sorry, I might not be able to share my face just because I'm at a client site. Yeah, but I'll just have my face on my presentation. So there's just a brief presentation I had prepared for this session. So one of the reasons why, just a minute. Yes, one of the reasons why I decided to choose this topic is because I've been in the industry for quite some time. And with my experience and interacting with different people, so we have realized that with the people that we are coming out of the education institutions, we seem to be having some gaps um, in readiness for the market. So I thought it's good we just share this. I might share some insights on how you can prepare, assuming that most people in this program are preparing to be cybersecurity experts and they are quite new to the industry. So just a brief profile as Hope has shared. So I have been within the industry for over 8 years. Yeah, so and within those years, I've been with Serianu. So this is not where I started my career. Yeah, so I have skills on other areas. Yeah, because in life, sometimes you might not uh, just have one path succeed in life. So the other things that I've done. So if maybe I might have enough time, I can share that backgrounds around that. But for now, we'll just focus on these 8 years that I have been within cybersecurity, which is a very interesting field. So as I highlighted, so there are some key challenges that we have been experiencing. Yeah, so over the last uh, couple of years, I've been sitting on some panels during interviews, and what you have realized is that sometimes there are people who come for those interviews, but there are some challenges that you usually face, especially around skills mismatch. Let's say, for example, I'm interviewing for a certain position, and like now, one of the most common one being a, a SOC analyst position. But you realize that the people who have applied for that, yeah, the skills they have when they bring them on the table versus what you're looking for, there seem to be some mismatch, which is quite concerning. Yeah, so with this, we even trying to revise the curriculums of various programs, yeah, so that we make sure that the people that we are bringing to the market are ready for that, because the same observation I made as one of the panelists in Serianu might be a similar one that might be made by another panelist on another organization where maybe someone is looking for a job. Yeah. So the other challenge is around inadequate skills and readiness for the market, theme related to the first one. Yeah, so we find that yes, you're coming for an interview, yeah, but when we try to gauge the skills that you have as what we want, we realize that they are not on gaps. You know, so which we are hoping that with some of these programs we should be able to address. Yeah, so there is also a growing competition for scarce cybersecurity opportunities. So you realize that sometimes you'll open up for positions, but the people who apply for that, you'll find that for one position you have over 200 candidates who are applying for that. So chances are that might be quite low, especially for people who are quite fresh from the universities or colleges, yeah, to qualify for that. So for you to remain competitive and to be one chosen for that, it requires a lot of effort towards making sure that you're the outstanding one. So there are a lot of things that are required to achieve that, which we'll be addressing as part of the slide. Yeah, we also have cybersecurity experts being attracted to evolving and increasing opportunities. So that means most organizations end up maybe losing their cybersecurity professionals. So this might be a challenge, but might also be a positive challenge, especially for those who are looking for jobs. Because if someone leaves an organization, that means there's a new opportunity where if you qualify, you might be lucky, yeah, to be the one that will be takes over that position. Yeah. So there's also increasing demand for cybersecurity experts, resulting in high turnover. So we have now that most organizations have realized the importance of having cybersecurity, even departments. So they are looking for those experienced hires. Yeah. So sometimes they poach from organizations. So this is also uh, an advantage to those who are looking for jobs, so that if maybe you have the right skills, you might be lucky maybe to get such a position in those organizations where people maybe have left through maybe greener pastures. Yeah, so increased cyber crimes due to cybersecurity skills misuse and abuse driven by factors such as greed, fame, and political interest. So this has also affected most of the cybersecurity professionals. Yeah, in quotes professionals, because if you're a professional cybersecurity expert, then we don't expect you to get involved in these cyber crimes, because there are some ethics that are required, even as uh, you dive through the industry. Yeah, so, but this is a challenge because this leads to maybe most people losing their job, and sometimes maybe this can turn into a reputation where you might not even get another position. Yeah, so and that's where you find when you're training some of these courses like ethical hacking. So there is that um, ethical part. So that means you'll be trained, you'll be equipped with the skills, but you have to use them ethically. So some people abuse those skills that you acquire through that, and they might lead to some of these cyber crimes. And with that, you might be blacklisted for future positions. So there's also advanced persistent threats that are becoming more sophisticated, therefore requiring a high level of skills and proactiveness. So you find that as cybersecurity or cyber threats evolve, yeah, so there's need to have people who have the right skills to remain proactive. So we don't want to always be responding to incidents that have affected organizations. So most organizations prefer to get people who already now have the skills and are able to proactively detect potential threat that might lead to compromise. So with this, it requires a lot of knowledge, skills, and experience. So just to bring into perspective that issue of the gap, you'll find that these are global statistics. Yeah, so they have been obtained from uh, a different presentation. Yeah, so here you can see the global cyber demand. Yeah, so just for those people who might also be willing to look for jobs even outside the country, because there are very many opportunities. You will find that the demand here is over 9.5 million. So the current cyber workforce is 5.4 million. So that means we already have a gap of over 4 million need for cyber professionals. Yeah, so that means there's need to always upscale the people that we have to make sure that we minimize on this gap. Yeah, so the need for cyber talent is growing, not just within the country, not just within the continent. We have this even outside our continent. You'll see even in North America, we have Europe, we have South Africa, and South America, we have Africa and Asia, and you can see the statistics here. So that means there are opportunities all over the world. Yeah, so we are not limited to only look for jobs locally. So you might be lucky to get an opportunity even outside the continent, but this requires a lot of upskilling and making sure that you have the right skills for that. Yeah. Then there are various areas that most employers are looking to fill. So you find that there's need for skills around cloud security. Yeah, so with the advancing cyber trends, yeah, so sometimes you find even attack targeting the cloud platforms. So some people might just focus on maybe um, on-prem hosted systems asset, forgetting that we also have cloud platforms which are being targeted. So there's need for cloud security skills. Yeah, so the AI and machine learning. Yeah, so we are moving from the traditional ways of uh, working. So you find that most of those old technologies are now being outfaced by the new ones that are using AI and machine learning. So there's need to have skills around artificial intelligence and machine learning. So there's also zero trust. I believe most of you know what zero trust is. And if you're not maybe conversant with this, yeah, so this is an opportunity to do some research. I always try to make sure that I give people assignment. So part of it is just doing some research. Yeah, so we just need to do a bit of research around what is zero trust. Yeah, so for people who have skills around that, yeah, so these are very in-demand skills. Yeah, so maybe it's an area people might also try to consider. So there's also penetration testing. This is quite common. Yeah, so this helps to identify maybe the likelihood of organizations being attacked. Yeah, so and under this program, I know maybe there's some lessons around penetration testing. Yeah, although this has become very common, and if you have too many people with the same skills, then competition becomes quite high. So what I would advise is if people can try to also consider other areas that maybe we don't have too many people who have maybe delved into, so that if maybe there's an opportunity, chances are that you might be one considered. But if you just go to an interview and you don't have the same skills, that means we'll be looking for the slightest maybe errors or issues that will make you disqualify for that position. So it's always good to not always consider what other people are doing. So there's also application security, and you can see the ones here in red are the ones that there's high demand, because the others might be quite common in a way. Yeah, but if you can have more skills focused on these areas, then it can be an added advantage. Yeah, so there's also digital forensics and incident response. Yeah, so we have people who have these skills, and these help to during investigations. Yeah, so we have um, various incidents. Let's say there's a compromise, there's a fraud. Yeah, so there's need to bring in people with forensics skills to respond to that. So this is also an area, yeah, that is of high demand. So you can just try and consider that as well. There's also risk assessment and management. Yeah, so being able to assess the risks that organizations are prone to and exposed to. Yeah, and being able to advise. Yeah, not just giving a report showing that this is what you're exposed to, but also ways to maybe mitigate, or the mitigating controls for some of those risks. So these are key areas, and we have high demand on this. So you can just try and maybe consider the one that you're more interested on, and also the capabilities. It's always important to consider and assess the capabilities around delivering on a certain area, so that you don't force yourself into things that maybe in future, yeah, maybe you might face challenges beyond what you can control. Sometimes people think for you to survive in cybersecurity, you only need to have technical skills, which sometimes can be. So it's usually considered a myth. But there is also soft skill, because you cannot just survive with technical skills. Or sometimes, let's say, even if you go to do an assessment, after that you need to develop a report that will be shared with the management, which is non-technical. So you have to make sure that you communicate in a non-technical way. So there are some soft skills that are required for that. And also things around critical thinking, because things are changing. So you should also try and equip yourself with skills beyond the technical one. So you also need to be very curious. Curiosity is part of those soft skills. In most cases, you might not be trained anywhere, but they're important to have, because you have to keep asking yourself. So let's say, for example, you're already in a position, if you're just an analyst and the one who you're working on, you're entrusted with maybe securing or providing security of the organization through monitoring. So we need to assume that every time maybe there's something happening. Yeah. So through that curiosity, you're able to research on common trends, yeah, threats, scenarios, so that with that you're able to relate with what you're seeing, uh, and be able to identify any unusual observations, which might also indicate maybe there's a potential compromise on the environment. So curiosity is key, and also trying to think beyond maybe what you usually do on a daily basis, because curiosity is what tries to and helps you to grow your skills, because you might want to see to get to the next stage. You want to see what other people are doing. Yeah. So if you have peers within the same industry, yeah, so who have more advanced skills than you have. Yeah. So there's need to have that curiosity. So there are also other skills around that. Yeah. So you might not be able to explore everything, but what I'll do, I can share some links to um, some documents where you can get some of the required skills to deliver on various cybersecurity areas. So, what do you mean by qualified? If you say you're qualified, you are cybersecurity qualified professionals. So what are we looking at? So there's need to have knowledge. So knowledge is what you acquire through some of these programs, the course that you take, your degree, yeah. So another, so other certifications. But now there's also the other part of experience, yeah, because you have to be exposed, yeah, to the industry, yeah. So you have a position where now you are actively executing. So through that, you get to gain experience. So most employers will not just be looking at the papers that you have, but also the experience that you have, because once you have been onboarded, you will not be using the papers that you acquired through the programs that you have gone through. It's now the experience that you have that will be using to deliver on a daily basis. So that means it is need to combine both knowledge, yeah, then there's experience. Now, how do you build your cybersecurity roadmap? So there's need to plan. So what do you want to achieve? Yeah. So it's good to have a plan. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? But if you don't have a plan, then you'll just be meandering through various available opportunities. Yeah. So it's always good to have a plan. Here now you define even the path. So this is the direction I want to take, because sometimes there are usually a lot of interactions and distractions here and there. You have friends who are in risk. You have others who are doing governance. There are people who are in SOC. There's people holding different positions. So if you don't plan your path around what you might want to achieve in future, then sometimes you might lose direction. So it's always good to have a plan. Then once you have a plan, you identify the various areas now to through which you're going to get the required skills. So with that, you're able to learn. Yeah, so you learn the skills, yeah, what you require. Then do, this is where now you're able to deliver, execute using the skills that you have already acquired. So this might be through getting maybe volunteering positions. You might also already be working. Yeah, so sometimes you might be in a position that, let's say in future, you might want to switch to a different one. So how are you able to will be diverse to a different direction. So sometimes people face challenges, especially if you haven't defined your path, your career path. So that's why it's very important to have that. And with those dynamics and different interests, you find that even the rate of satisfaction keeps really going down. From this statistic here, you can see that the year 2023 towards year 2024, the level of satisfaction seemed to be dropping because people seem to try and explore different areas. Sometimes you might lose direction, although sometimes you might find that through that you're able now to discover new opportunities and um, maybe areas that you can utilize your capabilities more. So we'll find that we have too many people switching jobs. Yeah, so moving from one department to another, moving from one organization to another, as you look for a more suitable area. Yeah, so where you might focus or you can settle on. So it can be it can have some positive side and sometimes you can have a negative side. So the positive side is where through lack of that satisfaction in the current position, maybe you're looking for a better position, maybe you're not rightly positioned. Let's say you just got a position based on what was available then. But with time, you realize that this is not the area that I want to focus on in future. So I need to look for a more suitable position. So through that, you might need to switch departments. Sometimes you might have to switch organizations. So these dynamics usually happen, and we have experienced this. Yeah. On the negative side, sometimes if you just keep switching, sometimes it might indicate you're not very sure about where you're heading to. So it's always good to get mentors who are able now to advise you on choosing the best career path. based on your interest and capabilities, so that you don't lose direction. Because if you keep switching and sometimes you lose direction, you might find that at some point you'll be lost. Yeah, so it's always good to have mentors, people who are able to advise you on your career progressions, have professionals who have experience, yeah, who are able to assess your capabilities and advise on how best now to proceed. Then there's also need to identify your areas of interest. So people have different areas. So here we have a mind frame. So there are people who are focused more on technical functions. Yeah. So there are people who are more technical, like now those doing CH as part of penetration testing. Those are technical skills. Not everyone will be interested in that area. So we have people who are more into managerial function. Yeah. So people who even get to leadership. The other people who get to now combine the different um, skills. So you have technical, you have managerial, and you have leadership. So this is where we have hybrid mind frame. Yeah. So if you're able to get all these different skills and be able now to deliver on all of them, it's an added advantage. But sometimes it's always good to choose your niche where now you want to concentrate on. Because for each of these areas, there's demand for you to develop and grow your skills. Yeah, so technical functions, yeah, so there are skills required for that. Managerial leadership is more soft skills. Yeah, so being able to lead a team. Yeah, so sometimes this doesn't happen at entry levels or mid levels. So you'll find that leadership requires you to have all these other skills. You need to understand the technical functionalities. Let's say if you're within an organization, yeah, so sometimes you need to know the technicalities of the organization function. Yeah, so with that, now you're even able to advise the team that you have oversight on. But if you can have hybrid, it's also an added advantage. So we can have different domains within these different areas. So we can be good at network security, the others who will focus on device security. So the others who will be focused on governance, risk and compliance. So under these, we then have subdomains, yeah, which you might not explore for now. Yeah, but during your own time, you can just try and see what are the subdomains. Yeah, so within these different areas that you might decide now to focus on. Then the second step here is to set a vision. You need to have a vision. Yeah, so this is what I want to achieve. Yeah, so this is where I'm heading to. Then you do an inventory of your skills. So these are the skills that I already have. And based on where I want to be in future, these are the skills that I need. Then from there, now you can plan on how to achieve or acquire the skills that you require. So you also need to know your gaps. So through now doing an inventory of your skills, and now this is what I want to achieve, and you already have a profile of whatever I want to achieve, this is what is required. You're able to identify the gaps that you already have, and now you plan for the ways to minimize all those gaps. So here is a small illustration. Let's say I want to start with this X role. Then this role requires these skills, which are here are represented by this Y. Yeah, so this is the experience required, and this is what I already have. I already have Z expertise. So I need to acquire A to get the role I want. So with that now, you're able now to plan wisely. So if it's a major course you need to take, if there are certifications, yeah, you need to pursue. So at least with that now you're able to identify and plan better. And with that, even as you acquire those skills, you know why you need them. So there are people sometimes who are lucky to get jobs before they have the right skills. So with that, you are challenged and you see this is the gap, that the knowledge gap that I have, so that this is affecting my deliverables in the current position. So this is what I need to do. So with that, now you're able to decide, am I going to take a major course for me to be better in what I do? Yeah. So do I need to enroll for some certification? Yeah. So with that, now you're able to grow yourself in line with what you want to achieve. So always set a clear vision. Yeah. Sometimes if you don't have a very clear vision, yeah, so it becomes challenging even to plan yourself around now how to navigate through getting to your set objectives. So it's always good to create a path to learn. Like I mentioned, this could be formal education. Like now, a major course, this will be a formal education program. Then we also have other training programs, like now Cyber Shuja is one of these training programs. You can also do self-learning, so which is self-education. You educate yourself. So this can be through attending seminars, enrolling for webinars where they are taking people through various areas, cybersecurity areas. Yeah, so you can also acquire certifications. So there are different certifications that you might require for different roles. And I have listed a few here, which you can consider. Yeah, so as I had highlighted earlier, so there are some common skills that are required within cybersecurity. And I think this program is more focused on cyber analytics. Yeah, so here I have highlighted a few skills that are common and required for you to deliver on these roles, especially in an analyst role. So one of them is understanding common security solutions and functions. Yeah, because in that role, you'll be interacting with different tools. You need to know for say, if you're doing monitoring, so what are some of the tools that you expect to find if you're working within a SOC, Security Operations Center? So these are some of the tools that I'm expected to interact with. Then there's also incident response process. In most cases within a SOC, you'll be interacting with incidents. Yeah, so if you have critical incidents, there's how now you need maybe to share them with the organization for them maybe to remediate or close on them or react to them. So there's need to understand the incident response process. So there are various stages that a SOC analyst will go through. There's triaging. So you need to get the required information that you can use now to develop reports and communicate to the client or whoever now you are reporting to. So there is need to understand the incident response process, which is very key. Threat intelligence processes and sources. So there are various threat intelligence sources. So when you are an analyst, yeah, so you cannot deliver without understanding the potential threats or risk that maybe an organization is prone to. So even as you analyze logs or you analyze incidents or events that you're receiving, it's always important to relate with maybe some threat scenarios. So you need to understand the threat intelligence. So some of them are open source. There are some which are internal technical threat intelligence. So there are various sources. So you can just do a bit of research just to understand the threat intelligence processes and the various sources. Critical thinking is key. This is one of the soft skills that you need. Yeah, because you have to think critically. So as you analyze those incidents, events, for you to identify anomalies and just to determine some of those observations that might be risky to an organization, there's need to have that critical thinking. So there's also analytical skills where you have to analyze maybe large data. So from that data, that's where you'll be able to identify unusual events that might be indicators of a potential compromise to the organization. So analytical skills are key. There's also need for collaboration and teamwork. So you cannot work in a silo. Yeah, so within a SOC, you need to engage different members of the team, or even collaborating with cybersecurity professionals. So it's important to have those skills. Yeah, curiosity, which is also key. Yeah, so I mentioned earlier. So there are other skills like vulnerability management. You need to know the weaknesses within systems, processes, technologies that can expose organizations, yeah, to potential threats. Then you also have other skills around penetration testing, which is not, let's say, a very major requirement, but this depends on the area that you're focusing on. So if you're more into offensive, uh, there's need to have penetration testing skills. Yeah, there's also need to have innovative mind. So we have the organizations that are using traditional or old school method within their cybersecurity ecosystem. So you need to come up with those innovative minds where now you're able to help even automating processes or helping to identify better ways of improving how things are done. Yeah, so these are some of the skills. We have not exhausted everything, but these are some of the skills that you can consider. And for those who have already gone through my interviews, you'll realize that there are common questions within this area that I usually ask. And most people tend to fail, which is quite concerning because there is nothing that here is very complex. The skills that we have here, some of the things that you can research online, yeah. But even as you come for an interview, you already have a prior knowledge around that. Then here I've listed some top cybersecurity certifications. So there are people who will ask now, what are some of the certifications that I can pursue? Yeah. So we have different levels, and some are focused on different cybersecurity areas. Yeah, but there are some which are very common. So it's good to assess your area of interest. And from that, now you're able to look for the best certifications for you to advance your knowledge and skills. Yeah, so these are some of the common ones, like Certified Ethical Hacker CH. It's a common certification. Yeah, so there's also Certified Threat Intelligence Analyst certification, especially for those guys who want to major in SOC analyst roles. So these are common certifications that you might be required to have. So the others, if you want to advance, yes, FISA, CVIM, CISSP. Yeah, but what I must mention is that these certifications are quite expensive, so to acquire and also to maintain. So it's always important to make sure that the certifications that you acquire, you're able to utilize them so that you don't feel as if you're just wasting money on certifications that you might not end up using. Yeah, because sometimes we'll have membership um, charges. Yeah, so you have to keep renewing that certification, but they help to acquire advanced skills. So you might not uh, just be equipped with all the required skills through just making having a major course. Let's say like if you take what computer science, so that will be a major course. But from there, that will give you more of theoretical skills. There are also other cyber related major courses. Yeah, but you'll find that there are some skills that you might miss. So here, with these certifications, mostly you'll be interacting with teams you will need to deliver. So it's always good to make sure that in addition to the other skills that you have obtained, uh, you can add some certifications that are relevant to the area of interest. So here I've put some links to um, some articles or some documents in which now you can explore some of the skills that you might require or the certifications that you can take. So experience is the key. So most organizations will not consider people who are maybe just fresh from campus and you don't have experience. So for us as a young, we usually try to consider them because we don't expect someone fresh from campus to have um, much experience. Sometimes you might have experience through internship attachment, but that might not be sufficient for you to deliver effectively in a sensitive role. Yeah, so it's always important to try and see or find ways to gain experience. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be through a full employment, but it's always important to just try and have places through which you can acquire experience. So here we have listed a few areas through which you can acquire some experience. Sometimes you can volunteer for some positions. Sometimes it can be through internship. Internship can be maybe 3 months, 1 year, and within that you have hands-on, yeah, uh, experience, and you're able to explore what usually happens. Yeah. Then there's the apprenticeship. So this is where, let's say, you're working um, or you're shadowing a cybersecurity professional or an expert. So through that, you're able to learn, and maybe you can be assigned some tasks through which you can acquire some experience that you can use or utilize in the future. Yeah, so real world projects. So there are various projects that are usually out there. So you can just enroll for and take part in, and through that you're able to acquire some experience. Yeah, job shadowing, shadowing someone who is executing on a certain task or job of interest. So you also have rotational programs. Let's say you're given opportunity to be work on a certain position. It could just be a short-term program, yeah, but you have practical experience, yeah. Yeah. Then you have connection to tech or cyber team. So you might have a cyber team that is working on a certain, let's say, a project through which you can take part. You can be assigned maybe junior roles or junior tasks, but as you are delivering on that or you're executing on that, there are some skills that you're able to acquire. So will not be completely green. You also have some skills from there. So we also have others acquired independently. So homegrown or outsourced labs. We have people who have even set up labs in their homes. Through that, their skills are running. Yeah, so let's say things like penetration testing, you can simulate, yeah, so an environment, and you just try and see what you can achieve with that. So with that, as you're interacting with tools, you're able to acquire some skills, and you have to make sure that you add those to your CVs. Yeah, content creation. Yeah, so there are people who have blogs. Yeah, so through that, you're sharing knowledge, and through some research, you're able to also uh, acquire some skills. Then there's volunteering and profit startups and businesses. So during the early stages, you should not just focus on what you get in terms of monetary benefit. Yeah, so you should focus more on gaining the required skills that might help you to secure a job that maybe will help you to achieve what you might want in terms of a monetary value. So, and that's what we usually advise most people who join our organization. Yeah, so do not first focus on what you earn at the end of the month. So it's always important at least to have something in the pocket, but that is not the core objective. Yeah, so just acquire the required skills, make sure you're utilizing all the available opportunities. Then salary increment will come with time. Yeah. So then we have various industries which you can just try and explore. You can look for opportunities. We have financial institutions such as banks, SACCOs. They always have these opportunities. Yeah. So you can just try and make sure that you drop your CVs. Just go for those interviews. Yeah, with that, even if you don't qualify, there are things you get to learn from that. So like when people come for interviews within our company, we usually make interviews more of a conversation. Yeah. So with that, the questions you ask or the interaction that you usually have, you're able to gauge the skills that candidate has, and you're able now to determine the suitable position. Yeah. Or you're able to advise on the skills that he or she might require to acquire for him or her to maybe qualify for that particular position. Because not always we do go for interviews and you get considered. Yeah. So chances are that out of the 20 candidates, only 2 will be picked. Yeah, so you might not be the lucky one, but you should not always take that negatively. Take that as a positive challenge to learn what the industry requires. And with that, now you're able to gauge your skills and see what you might require to make sure that you are one of the relevant one, or you're the right one for the job. Then once you have the skills, you always this high possibility that you will land on your ideal role. So once you have the skills, it's always important to make sure that you add the experience, whatever you have acquired on your CV. Yeah, so they're usually professional templates on how we just develop your CV. Yeah, so sometimes people fail interviews just because of how they have structured their CVs. You might have the skills, but you're not able to demonstrate, them on the CV. Yeah, because one of the things that we usually do, if you have a new position, we'll not first invite you for an interview. First, we'll ask you to share your CV. So we'll do a review of your CV. Then from there, we usually do shortlisting. Yeah, so you might fail just because of some few or that some errors that you can fix, such as maybe just structuring your CV in a professional way, where you're able now to demonstrate whatever you have done and uh, outline your profile. Then after that, then enhance your online presence. Yeah, so if there are things you have done within the industry, make sure that you always post them. If you have a LinkedIn account, make sure you're always updating. Yeah, there are people who are looking at those profiles, and there are very many people who have um, uh, gotten jobs through LinkedIn, where just when someone goes in and looks for a potential candidate who has the required skills, for a certain role, and maybe you're called, through that. Yeah, so it's always important that you have some online presence, and make sure that you update your profile, your online profile, in a professional way. Yeah, so there are people also who are disqualified due to their online presence. Yeah, because maybe whatever usually you update or post online, so sometimes it could be controversial, or it might even raise suspicions around your professionalism. So it's always important to make sure that your online presence is in a professional way. Then network. Yeah, so join industry organizations, attend events, explore communities. So there usually some free events. There are some which might be paid, but you can just sacrifice maybe a few coins for you to network with people, because that's where you meet cybersecurity professionals, and from there you might have people who are interested in someone else. That might be the opportunity. Yeah, so also apply. So if you see an opening, always try to apply. Yeah, so you might not be lucky, yeah, to be considered for all those, but just keep trying. Yeah, if you're out of 100 applications, you might get 2 of them. And sometimes you'll find that after all that search, you'll find there's a time you'll be spoiled for choices. Yeah, because now you have too many people who are looking for you. But what is important is to make sure that you have the right skills and someone will come for you. Yeah. Then continued learning is very important. So you can pursue certifications, keep up with industry news so that you know what is happening within the industry, because you might come for an interview. Maybe the only question I'm asking, so which are the most recent cybersecurity trends? Yeah, so if you're not very vast with whatever is happening within the industry, that might lead to a disqualification. So it's always important to keep up with the industry news just to understand what is happening. Yeah, so revisit your experience matrix. So you have to keep updating your experience, yes, through those different areas, yeah, or methods. It doesn't have to be through a permanent job. You know, you can even have contract jobs that even last for 3 months. But by the end of that month, 3 months, you should be able to have acquired some skills. And make your growth ambitions known. Yeah, so let people know what you want to achieve. So they might have some opportunities that can help you with that, or they might have some advice. Yeah, so there are things they might share that will help you to achieve what you intend in future. Continuously update your online presence, what we mentioned. Yeah, then after that, get qualified, go out, you'll get hired, then from there you grow. Yeah, so there are some additional materials. Yeah, I've shared some links or you can just try and explore. Yeah, so with that, now you're able to see the outline, the skills required, the certifications that you can take, and also this nice framework, yeah, helps to show you for this particular line, this is what is required. Yeah, so um, and this comes in handy, especially when you're planning on what you want to achieve within your cybersecurity journey. Yeah, so that's it for this presentation. It was quite short, but I hope with that you have acquired something. You'll have some takeaways that will help you in future. And all the best, especially for the new joiners who are quite new to the industry. It's usually challenging, but most of them are usually positive challenges. So try to make sure that all the challenges that you face, you take them positively. And within that, you're able to learn. And most of them will be a stepping stone towards the next level, yeah, within your career progression. Thank you so much.
Okay. So thank you so much, Stephen, for that extensive knowledge that you've shared. So because of time, I'll ask for 3 questions. Yeah, I see your hand is already up. So 3 questions. Mysol, your hand is down. Are there any questions? Yes, Ak, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. I missed something. Now I'm requesting whether it's possible for him to share the slides, kind.
Sure, and share the slides through Hope. Then she can distribute.
Thank you.
Thank you. Another question? Any other question? If I give closing remarks, okay, someone?
Mine is not a question, but just to say thank you so much for the wonderful presentation, and it has been very, very insightful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the feedback.
Thank you for your. Yes, Mark, you can go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, everyone. Okay, I wanted to ask about the certifications. Are most of them free, or you have to pay for some fee?
Let me just answer that. Yeah, so most of these certifications are not usually free, but you'll find that there are some that you might find that are free. And only that if it's through like EC Council, so most of them are usually paid for, but there are some which are not very expensive. So what you can do, you can just try and explore the ones that maybe are within your capabilities to pay for. Yeah, but even through that, there are things like Cybersecurity. I know it has some courses that they usually offer for free. There are some which you might have to pay maybe some small fee. Yeah, but you can always explore and see the ones that are within your capabilities to acquire and pay for.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Then Mark, you can start with the free ones. There was a hand before I gave Kevin and Sandra a chance. There's a lady who had a hand up. Okay, Kevin, go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, since now that we don't have that much experience in the field of cybersecurity, and we have these projects that we have been tackling, that is at the Try-Hack-Me rooms and at Hack the Box. I had my question is, how can we make that? How can we create one link for the Hack the Box? Since for Try-Hack-Me, we can get one link and someone can access that room and finds all resources or all the rooms that you have tackled.
Yeah, so thanks for that. I think some of these you can get support through someone like Nevin, who is running with that program. Yeah, so you can just raise that with him and he can guide. Yeah, because there are always ways that you can do some collaboration. Yeah, and get better ways of making sure that you utilize whatever you learn through those particular rooms. Yeah, but you can also reach out. Yeah, maybe out of this session, we can just discuss and see how best to help you achieve. Yeah, so whatever you plan for that.
Okay, so Stephen, does he reach out via LinkedIn or how does he reach you?
I can share my contacts.
Okay.
Yeah, also Neville and those who are, I think, coordinating the program, they already have my contacts. You can just share. Just feel free to share with them. They can always reach out, yeah, for support.
Okay. Kevin, you're good? I think that's a yes. So I'll take Winnie and then Winnie and then Sandra lastly, kindly. Winnie, go ahead.
So, thank you so much, Steve. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear.
Okay, so I wanted to ask about the area. It's not more of technical, the training and awareness. Sorry. You have tackled so many arms of cybersecurity. One can dive in, but assuming someone would want to do more of the governance and maybe training and awareness and looking at I'm trying to look at it at the level where there are so many organizations who are yet to adapt the cybersecurity. So if you're looking to get into the area of training, would you maybe talk about it a little bit?
So for trainings, we have some organizations that have even openings for people might believe on that, although it's usually through some other organizations that they have partnered with. So it will be quite rare to have maybe an organization who is now reaching out to individuals to provide trainings, but there are people who you might even volunteer to a program that offers trainings to organizations. Yeah, so first you can schedule professional trainers as they deliver on that. Then from there, maybe you might acquire some training skills that now you can utilize. Then you can start with low level training. Yeah. Then from there, you can keep advancing. Yeah. So there also maybe some cybersecurity firms that sometimes will offer opportunities through maybe internship. Yeah, so for people who have the skills around trainings, then through that, maybe you're able to deliver on that, and they might be able to discover some capabilities that they can utilize, and you might even be absorbed for a similar position in the organization.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Sandra, your last one.
Um, and so hey Steve, so thank you so much for the presentation. My question was on the on-demand skills. You talked about cloud security and AI. I wanted to confirm if that is marketable, like, do you mean in the world or in Kenya? And also, I wanted to confirm if, do you think it's a better idea to know a little bit of everything? I'm talking about like penetration testing, AI, cloud, or is it better for me to just specialize in one skill? Since when I check most job descriptions, they're sometimes very random on what skills they want somebody to have. So it's very difficult for me to settle on should I learn.
Okay, that's a good question. So we don't usually sometimes recommend people to specialize at very early stage, because what you might realize is that maybe you might pick an area which might be challenging for you, and in future you realize that maybe this might not be the right path for you. Yeah, so it's always important if you have opportunities to explore different cybersecurity areas at that early stage. Just try that. Then as you move up, then you keep on trying to specialize as you identify your niche. Then once we identify that, then you can advance your skills through now acquiring the relevant certification, yeah, on that area. Yeah, so we just explore the available opportunities. Then as you explore that, you're able to gauge yourself and see where you are better off in. And now you can focus on that particular area.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. So I'll go ahead and come to the end of this session. So just to highlight a few things Stephen has talked about. He started with the key challenges being experienced in the cybersecurity industry. He talked about skills mismatch and the growing competition. He also took us through the risk assessment and management and the in demand that was under the in demand of the security skills that are in demand. Sorry about that. And then he took us through the need to plan your career journey, set a vision board for yourself, and know what you want. We also went through the key knowledge skills required for specifically the cyber analyst roles, the top cybersecurity certifications that are out there, ways to gain experience, industries that are really looking for cybersecurity professionals. We also emphasized the need to network. This is something, if you've noticed, you've seen across most of the speakers who've talked to us. And then last but not least, revisit your experience matrix. So thank you so much, Stephen, for delving into this in such an extensive way and also creating time for this. I'll definitely share the slides once you share them, and also contact for those who did get the chance to ask questions on this forum. So thank you again for creating time and even mentoring us through this session as we're in a client side. Thank you, Stephen.
So thank you so much, Hope, for organizing this, and also everyone here for participation. Yeah, so you can always reach out in case of anything. We are always available to support towards making sure that we develop and grow people, yeah, so that now we increase the professional pool within the industry. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your participation, and have a lovely night.